My fiancée said her abusive ex wouldn't leave her alone. I offered to help. Then I hired a PI and discovered they were planning their wedding and his divorce the whole time. I replaced our wedding slideshow with their secret text messages, and then I, 32 male, still can't believe I'm typing this. Wedding was supposed to be tomorrow. Instead, I'm sitting in my apartment with a beer, watching my ex-fiancé blow up my phone from a number I haven't blocked yet. Met Jenna, 29, 2 years ago at a friend's barbecue. She was everything, smart, funny, gorgeous in that natural way where she didn't even try. We clicked instantly. Moved in together after 8 months. Got engaged 6 months ago. From the start, she told me about Trevor, 31, her psycho ex who couldn't let go. Showed me texts where he'd message her at 2 a.m. calling her baby and saying he missed her. She'd always show me how she'd tell him to stop, that she'd moved on. I felt bad for her, dealing with that harassment. About 4 months ago, the messages got worse. Trevor was apparently showing up at her work parking lot, sending flowers to her office. She was scared, crying in my arms some nights. I wanted to protect her. Told her we should get a restraining order, but she said she didn't want the drama, that he'd eventually give up. I offered to talk to him, man to man. She panicked, said he was dangerous when confronted, had a temper. Begged me not to, so I didn't. Instead, I did something else. My cousin Danny works as a PI, does mostly insurance fraud stuff, but I asked him for a favor. Just wanted to know more about this Trevor guy. If he had a record, history of stalking, anything that might help us build a case if needed. Told him to be discreet. Danny called me 3 weeks later. Bro, you sitting down? Trevor wasn't stalking anyone. Trevor was married, had been for 5 years, had 2 kids, 3 and 1. And according to the surveillance Danny did, Jenna was meeting him twice a week at a hotel during her gym time and book club. I didn't believe it, couldn't. Danny sent me photos, crystal clear, them kissing in the parking garage, holding hands walking into the room, her car there for exactly 2 hours every Tuesday and Thursday. Then Danny sent me the real kicker. He'd done some social media deep diving with his tools. Found Trevor's wife Brittany's private Instagram through mutual connections. She'd posted last month about working through things and choosing forgiveness with cryptic quotes about betrayal. The timeline matched when Jenna said the stalking got worse. I wanted to confront her, scream, throw her stuff out. But I didn't, because Danny wasn't done. There's more, he said. I pulled some public records. Trevor filed for divorce 2 weeks ago, and there's something else weird. He just put an offer on a house. Big one. 4 bedrooms. I knew what I had to do. Played perfect fiancé for 3 more weeks while Danny kept digging. Jenna noticed nothing, too busy texting someone she'd quickly flip her phone from, too busy with her extra wedding planning appointments. Danny worked his magic, got access to some deleted messages through a source he wouldn't name, said, I didn't want to know. The texts were devastating. Can't wait until we can stop hiding, baby. Just 3 more weeks. Feel bad about James, though. He's a good guy, but you deserve someone who can match your energy. The house is perfect, but tub you. Already planning the nursery. Britt took it better than expected. Thinks I'm having midlife crisis, lol. James would die if he knew. He's so trusting it's actually sad. There were hundreds more. Them planning their future. Her picking out furniture for the new house. Him promising to divorce quickly. Her saying she'd keep her ring because it's worth at least $20,000 and we could use it for the honeymoon. The wedding was in 5 days when I read those. 200 guests. Her whole family flying in. My parents had spent $15,000 on this. Deposits all paid. Everything perfect for her dream wedding. Except I had a different plan now. Update 1. Sorry for the delay. Been a wild 48 hours. Needed time to process and deal with the fallout. So, the wedding day. I acted completely normal the entire week. Helped with last-minute details. Picked up family from the airport. Smiled through the rehearsal dinner where Jenna's dad made a speech about knowing true love when you see it, while she held my hand and wiped away tears. Trevor was at the rehearsal dinner. Plot twist, he's Jenna's best friend from college. Been in our lives the whole time as the guy who could never see her as more than a friend. His wife Brittany was there too, quiet, watching him with sad eyes. She knew. God, she knew, and was just there. The morning of the wedding, I was calm, eerily calm. My groomsmen kept asking if I was okay. I just said, never better. Jenna looked absolutely stunning. I mean it, the dress, the hair, the makeup, she was glowing, radiant, texting someone while her bridesmaids fussed over her, but glowing. The ceremony went perfectly. She walked down the aisle to our song. Her vows were beautiful, all about trust, partnership, building a future together. I kept mine short, just said I promised to give you exactly what you deserve. She didn't catch the tone. Neither did anyone else. Yet. Reception time, 200 guests, open bar, perfect venue. The coordinator asked about the slideshow. I'd told them I'd handle it personally as a surprise for my bride. Loaded it up on the USB myself. Dinner was served. Speeches started. Her dad went again. The man really loves a microphone. My best man killed it with funny stories. Then it was time for the slideshow. A journey through our love story is what everyone expected. The first 10 photos were normal. Us at various dates, holidays, trips, sweet stuff. Background music playing. People were smiling, awing. Then came slide 11. Screenshot of Trevor's text, can't wait to put a baby in you again. Confusion. Murmurs. Slide 12. James is at work, come over. Slide 13. The hotel parking garage photo. Timestamp visible. The room exploded. Jenna's face went from confused to horror white in seconds. She stood up, wobbling in her heels. Turn it off! Turn it off! But it kept going. 50 slides total. Every damning text. Every photo Danny took. The grand finale? A screenshot of the offer Trevor put on the house with a message from Jenna. Can't wait to be your wife for real this time. This time? Yeah. Turns out they dated before Trevor got married. She was the other woman then too, until Brittany got pregnant and Trevor chose his family. Jenna waited. Playing the long game. Jenna tried to run to the AV table, tripped on her dress. Trevor jumped up to help her. His wife Brittany stood up slowly, walked over to him and said loud enough for everyone to hear, I want a divorce. My lawyer will contact you Monday. Then she walked out with more dignity than anyone deserves to have to muster. The chaos was biblical. Jenna's mom screaming at me. Her dad trying to punch me, dude 60 and missed by a mile. Trevor trying to quietly leave but getting cornered by his own parents who were also guests. I grabbed the mic. Sorry everyone, wedding's off, but please enjoy the open bar, it's already paid for. Walked out, got in my car, drove home. My phone started blowing up before I even hit the highway. 43 missed calls from Jenna. 20 from her mom, texts from everyone. But here's the thing, I wasn't done. Update 2. The entitlement started immediately. First, it was Jenna showing up at my apartment that same night, still in her wedding dress, makeup running down her face, banging on the door at 1 a.m. James, open up, we need to talk. You humiliated me. You destroyed my life. Let that sink in. I humiliated her. I destroyed her life. Building security eventually escorted her out when she wouldn't stop screaming. She actually told them I was abusing her. They reviewed the hallway footage of her alone, screaming at a door, and threatened to call the cops on her. Next morning, the real fun began. Her mom called from Jenna's phone. I'd blocked her entire family, but missed one number. You vindictive little man. How dare you embarrass my daughter like that? She made a mistake. People make mistakes. You had no right to air private matters publicly. I laughed. Actually laughed. Private matters? Like her affair? That private matter? She was confused. Trevor manipulated her. And now you've ruined her reputation. Who's gonna want her now? Sounds like a her problem, not a me problem. She threatened to sue me for, I kid you not, defamation of character and intentional infliction of emotional distress. I told her good luck with that and hung up. But Jenna wasn't done. Oh no. She escalated. Day 3 post-wedding. She somehow convinced our mutual friend Heather that I'd been abusive throughout our relationship. That's why she sought comfort with Trevor. Heather called me disgusting and said Jenna was staying with her. Cool, one less fake friend to deal with. Day 4. Jenna tried to access our joint credit card for the honeymoon trip, except joke's on her. I'd removed her as an authorized user 3 days before the wedding. The card declined. She sent me a Venmo request for $3,500 with the note, you owe me for the emotional damage. I declined it with the note, lol no. This is where it gets good. Trevor's wife Brittany reached out. We met for coffee. Turns out Trevor had been promising to leave her for 2 years. The divorce he filed? He'd been telling Jenna it was almost done, but hadn't even served Brittany yet. He'd been stalling, trying to figure out how to keep the house and avoid alimony. The house he put an offer on? He'd forged Brittany's signature on the mortgage application using their joint assets. Brittany was done playing nice. She'd already hired a shark of a divorce attorney, and guess what? In our state, adultery affects asset division. She had everything documented, including some very spicy photos Trevor had sent that included identifying features of my apartment in the background. They'd been using my place when I was at work. But here's the best part. Brittany found out Trevor had a gambling problem. He'd blown through their savings, taken out secret credit cards. The house he was buying for him and Jenna? He couldn't actually afford it. He was expecting Jenna's income and my guilt money to cover it. Day 6. My company's HR called. Someone had sent them an anonymous tip that I was mentally unstable and had publicly humiliated a coworker. Jenna didn't even work at my company, so this made no sense. They were required to investigate but found nothing because there was nothing. The IP address of the email traced back to Heather's apartment, where Jenna was staying. I was done playing defense. Update 3. Time to go on offense. First, I compiled everything. Every receipt, every screenshot, every photo. Made a beautiful little folder. Then I did something petty. Maybe too petty. But she'd tried to get me fired, so I sent it to her work. See, Jenna worked at a nonprofit that specifically focused on women's empowerment and healthy relationships. Their whole brand was about supporting women and promoting trust and honesty. Their social media was full of quotes about integrity. I didn't send it to be malicious. I sent it because Trevor also worked there. He was their finance director. She was the event coordinator. They'd been using company time and resources for their affair. Multiple hotel receipts were dated during work hours. The parking garage photos, taken when they were supposedly at a conference. I sent it to the board of directors with a note. I thought you should know what your leadership team does during work hours with company resources. They were both fired within a week. Turns out there's a morality clause in their contracts. And using the company credit card for hotel rooms, Trevor thought he was slick, but Danny had found those receipts too, is fraud. But Jenna wasn't done. She escalated again. She started a social media campaign, posted on every platform about how I was an abuser who had trapped her, how Trevor was helping her escape, how I'd ruined their chance at happiness out of spite. She started a crowdfunding campaign for rebuilding after abuse. It got $300 from her mom and Heather. Meanwhile, Trevor was dealing with Brittany's divorce lawyer. Remember that forged signature on the mortgage application? That's federal fraud. Brittany's lawyer made sure the bank knew. Trevor was now under federal investigation. Then Jenna did the stupidest thing possible. She reached out to my ex, Lisa. Tried to get her to publicly support her claims that I was abusive. One problem, Lisa and I ended amicably and are still friends. She sent me screenshots of Jenna offering her $500 to make a statement about my abusive behavior. Lisa's response was perfect. The only thing James ever abused was the snooze button. Good luck with your scam though. Lisa posted the screenshots, tagged everyone. The comments were brutal. But the best revenge? I didn't have to do anything else. Final update. It's been a month since the wedding that wasn't. Here's where everyone ended up. Trevor, under federal investigation for mortgage fraud. Brittany took him for everything in the divorce. He's living in his car because no one will rent to him with his destroyed credit and pending charges. Oh, and Brittany? She sent Jenna a thank you card for exposing the truth with a photo of her and the kids on a beach vacation paid for by Trevor's liquidated 401k. Jenna, after getting fired, she couldn't make rent. Heather kicked her out after 2 weeks because Jenna expected her to pay for everything and refused to even look for work. Moved back in with her parents in another state. Last I heard, she was working part-time at a mall kiosk selling phone cases. Her mom called me one more time to say I'd ruined a bright future. I reminded her that Jenna ruined her own future the moment she decided to sleep with a married man while engaged to another. The flying monkeys? Heather eventually reached out to apologize after Jenna stole $400 from her purse. Others who'd taken Jenna's side slowly came around as the truth spread. I didn't accept any of their apologies. When people show you they'll abandon you based on lies without even asking for your side, believe them. My family got about 70% of the wedding money back through cancellation insurance. The venue owner, who'd heard about everything, actually refunded the entire venue fee out of sympathy. My parents used the recovered money for a vacation to Italy. They send me photos daily. I'm in therapy, working through the betrayal. Not gonna lie, it messed me up. 2 years of my life with someone who could lie to my face every single day. But I'm doing better. Started rock climbing, always wanted to try it. Got a promotion at work. Turns out my boss was really impressed by how professionally I handled someone trying to get me fired. Sold the engagement ring and used the money for a motorcycle I'd been wanting for years. The hotel. Almost forgot this part. I tracked down the hotel they'd been using and explained the situation to the manager, along with evidence they'd been using it for their affair. Turns out they'd been getting a corporate rate using Trevor's company credentials. The hotel banned them both and sent the information to the company, which is how the company found out about the corporate card fraud in the first place. The house Trevor tried to buy, the offer fell through once the mortgage fraud came to light. The sellers actually sued him for the failed transaction since they'd turned down other offers. He now owes them $20 in damages. The wedding venue? They turned the screenshots into a training case for their staff about why they should always password protect AV equipment. They offered me a free anniversary party if I ever get married for real. Might take them up on it someday. Jenna's last text to me, sent from her mom's phone last week. I hope you're happy. You destroyed everything for what? Your pride? Trevor and I were meant to be together and you ruined it out of spite. My response, you were meant to be together? Then why were you marrying me? And I didn't destroy anything. I just showed everyone who you really are. You destroyed everything by being that person in the first place. Then I blocked that number too. To everyone asking if I regret the public humiliation at the wedding, no, not for a second. She spent 2 years lying to my face. She let my family spend thousands on a wedding she knew was fake. She was actively planning a life with another man while picking out flowers and cake flavors with me. She tried to destroy my career when exposed. She tried to turn my friends against me with lies about abuse. The slideshow was the minimum she deserved. Sometimes the best revenge isn't what you do to someone. It's just pulling back the curtain and letting everyone see who they really are. The rest takes care of itself. Trevor, if you're reading this from the Wi-Fi at McDonald's or wherever you're parking your car these days, was she worth it? Jenna, if you're reading this on your break at the phone case kiosk, he was never going to leave his wife for you. You were always the side piece. Even when you were the main character in my life, you were still the side piece in his. And to anyone else dealing with betrayal like this, document everything. Trust your gut, and never be afraid to let the truth speak for itself. Even if that means doing it in front of 200 wedding guests. Peace out.